Hi, this is Edward Troxel. In the previous two tutorials, we've looked at how to change the size of a generated media. And so this time we want to take that and kind of expand it a little bit more. And this time we want to make the sizes variable in that we can change the lists that show up in the drop-down box. So we had hard-coded the list previously. And so now what we want to do is we'll put them in a file, and then we'll read that file, and then you can change that file to change the presets that show up in that list. So let's see how we would do that. The first thing I did is create the file with the same presets that I previously had, and all I need to have is a name, a width, and a height. Now notice for the custom one I just put a width and height in 0, and that's kind of a special case. For the rest of them, this is 1280 by 720, and so I put the width equals 1280 and the height equals 720. And so this is just a standard XML file. Here's the header line, and then we have a list of presets, and then each preset is one line with the name, the width, and the height. So if you wanted to add a new preset, then you could just simply copy a line, paste it inside the presets, and then put in your new text here, put in your new width, and put in your new height. But then we needed to change the code itself to be able to read this information and use this information, whereas previously everything was hard-coded. So in our main routine here, in the Form 1 routine, we previously had a list of adds here where we were adding the various presets. So now what I want to do is actually read the presets, and I'm also going to pass it the project height and the project width. So we're passing it the height and the width. That way we can go ahead and pick a preset that matches the current height and width of the project. So we created a new subroutine called read presets, which is right here. So now we have our new routine here, which accepts a height and a width. Then I need to find where is my file. What I did was I saved it in the same place as the script, and then I named the file resolutionpresets.xml. So to get my path, I'm going to combine the get directory name of my script file, we'll look at that in a minute, and then it adds resolutionpresets.xml. Now I need to create me a new serializer, which is a new XML serializer, and the type of it is presets. We'll get to that in a minute as well. Using a reader, XML reader, and .create my path. So we're going to read from this file here. We're going to create my presets, which is of type presets, and we're going to do a serializer.deserialize, and then this reader right here. So it's going to take all that text and deserialize it into our classes. Then I need to go through each one of the presets. So I'm looking to see, do I have a match? If I do, I'm going to set the match number right here. And then I'm also going to count them as I add them, so that I know the match number if this one matches. So then I'm going to go for each, and then this is the type, presets preset, which I just called preset, in my presets.preset. Remember, my presets is right here. Then I am going to add the preset name to the drop-down list. That if I'm converting my text to integer, if the preset height equals p height and the preset width equals p width, then I'm going to set match num equal to count, and then we will increment count. At the end, we will then set our default selected index equal to this match number, which will either be 0, as in it didn't match any, or it will be the one that had the same width and height as the project. Now, we've got a few things here that we haven't defined yet. First of all, we have my presets. Where is my presets defined? Well, let's go back up to the top. Here I have of type presets a variable named my presets. Going up a little higher, we also had to add this to our usings because we're now using the XML serialization routines. So if you didn't have the XML usings in there, then these two need to be added. So we've added these two at the top. We've added our my presets variable. We now call the routine to read the presets. And this is the routine that does read the presets into the variable that we created. We learned with the JSON we can actually use the paste special, and after copying the XML file it will give you the classes. Well, let's go down and look at the classes that it created. Here is the code that it gave me when I did the paste special. It added all these lines here, and then it created a class presets. So our class presets is the type of variable that we used for my preset. So our presets accesses this class. So our presets has a preset field, which is an array of presets preset. So our presets preset simply contains a full, each entry contains a full preset. And so here's how we read and set the presets. Then coming on down, our paste special gave us these lines and then our presets preset class. In this one we have a string called name field. It automatically defined these as U short for the width and the height, which works fine. We could change them to string, that wouldn't make a difference, but it works fine with U short. And so to get the name, it's going to get this .name field. To get the width, it's using this .width field. And then to get the height, it's using this .height field. And each one of these are XML attributes. And it defined all of this for me. All I had to do was copy paste this into this code. And all of this was strictly defined by Visual Studio. One other thing that I had to change. In this, I had my from Vegas and I had Vegas, Vegas. And that's all I had in it, was this right here. So I went ahead and added the rest of what can be passed to a script, which is script file, the XML document, and script args. And so we're actually using this variable right here to figure out where is this file, and then I had to pass the script file to the form. And then if we go back up to the top, here's the string script file that I'm passing it to, and I created me another new variable here, public string my script file, and then I just set my script file equals script file. Finally, we had to figure out what happens when they actually choose an option. Previously, once again, that was hard-coded. Here's the selected index changed, and so now I'm creating me a presets preset variable. It's called my preset, and to get that I'm going from my presets.preset, and I'm getting the index value entry. So if they chose the first one, it's going to be 0. If they picked the second one, it's going to be 1, and so forth. They're all 0 based. Then I'm going to get my width and my height by converting the text to integer. So I want to make sure it's an integer. Then if the width and height are both greater than 0, i.e. it's not the special case. The special case does nothing. If you select custom, it just does nothing. So if the width and height are both greater than 0, then I set my text height.text equals to the height that I got converted to a string. Then my text width.text is set to the width that I calculated, that I got here. And then we update the aspect ratio by getting the width divided by the height, just like we have in all other cases. So those are all the changes that we made to update this script, and let's see how it works. So now it has read the information. It has matched it with this one, since our project is 1920 by 1080, and we can go through and pick any of the other presets. So if I pick a 4K, then that's what we get there. And change this to 4096 and this to 2304. Now let's create another preset just so that we can see that it is changing. So I just copied that, paste it, scoot it over to make it look pretty. We'll call this my new preset. And let's just do 1024 by 768, just to throw two numbers in there. Save it, and now we'll run the script again. And now we have my new preset, and it's 1024 by 768. So with these changes to the code, we can easily modify that one file, and we can have as many entries as we want in the drop-down box, and the changes that we make will just simply show up in that box now. And so I hope you find this tutorial useful. Like, subscribe, and we'll see what else we can do with Vegas.